Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to thank you for having this hearing today, and I want to thank the witnesses for being here. Before I jump in and talk about the topic of today's hearing, this is the Aviation Subcommittee, and I do want to make note the hundreds or perhaps even thousands of phone calls and emails and contacts we've received from folks expressing strong concern about their experience in aviation. And over the past few months, we have heard countless stories about folks experiencing horrific problems traveling, trying to take a summer vacation, trying to help resume the economy by doing business travel, and experiencing problems at the airport, experiencing problems going through security, experiencing problems with weather delays, air traffic control, and of course the airlines. This is something that is having an incredible impact. Let me say it again, not just on folks trying to take their families on vacation and enjoy a relaxing summer vacation before school starts, but also those that are trying to help with resumption of economic activity across the United States. And this is something that we must make sure that we tackle and get to the bottom of this issue. Like Chairman Larson, I had the chance to join many of you at Tarkio, and I think the panel today looks a lot like the one we had over the weekend. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the conversation. I enjoyed the panel, and looking forward to today's discussion. General aviation is a critical part of our nation's economy, particularly in rural areas like Tarkio, where I wasn't sure Tarkio was ever actually going to show up. I thought it was just going to keep being dozens of miles of farms, but it plays a critical role in the economy. And what we're talking about today, and many of us spoke about over the weekend, is how we're going to incorporate new technology into the national airspace system. And as the chairman mentioned, right now, we're already seeing the FAA struggle from an organizational struggle, from an experience perspective, struggle from a regulatory perspective, dealing with their legacy mission, much less the complexity of bringing new technologies into our airspace. And I'm very concerned about what that does to commercial travel, what it does to general aviation, and of course, what it does to potentially thwart or impede the ability that an objective I know we all share, which is incorporating drones and AAM into advanced air mobility into our national airspace system while maintaining something that I think is really important to emphasize, while maintaining this amazing record of safety that we have in the aviation industry, which of course is that air travel is the safest mode of transportation in the United States. And we must continue to maintain that gold standard. The United States has an incredibly robust network of general aviation airports and heliports that touch virtually every American, not just the airport in Tarkio. And I imagine that we'd be hard pressed to find a member of Congress that doesn't have a desire to incorporate new technologies into the aviation system. In fact, my home state of Louisiana, in the district we represent, Houma Airport, which is the base for much of the offshore energy operations, they also have been leaning forward, embraced new innovative technologies, and I know that they're excited to continue moving forward aggressively in AAM, again, advanced aviation systems, advanced air mobility operations, and on the horizon, and are trying to plan accordingly for the new entrants. But I think that some of the regulatory uncertainty has challenged even them. We've got to continue to contemplate what this regulatory structure looks like for advanced air mobility, but we must also think about the infrastructure needs that are there. It's not just about the regulatory structure, particularly technologies like eVTOL, thinking about the infrastructure that's needed for those, how general aviation is going to be affected, and making sure that we have the proper infrastructure to facilitate all. The brainstorming and problem solving is pivotal to the safe and successful operation of AAM, and of course, ensuring that the United States maintains its global leadership role. Thankfully, last month, the House passed 2 critical bills on this, and we're hopeful that the Senate takes a similar path and gets these to the President's desk as soon as possible. Future regulations must contemplate new entrants into the market, and I'm looking forward to hearing y'all's thoughts about the safe integration of those systems into our NAS. Thinking briefly about drones and the ultimate full-scale integration into the NAS, also want to hear your thoughts on issues that are either of interest or more likely a concern, and how we can start bridging the gap between the general aviation industry and this growing drone and AAM industry. So, Mr. Chairman, I want to thank you for holding this hearing today and look forward to hearing from our witnesses.